I asked you all one quick question in the last module. What is the topmost skill you require to create a video resume? And I have got some fantastic responses. Some people are saying it's confidence. Some people are saying you need video editing skills. Some people are saying you got to be really good at communication. So I think all these answers are right in their own perspective. What I want you to focus on is on this fact, which is you got to be friends with camera. You got to be friends with camera. You should be confident in facing the camera, because if you are not confident in facing the camera, you will sound nervous in your video resume, and which can give a wrong impression to the person who is reviewing or listening or seeing your video resume, right? And don't worry about it if right now you are shy in front of camera, because it will improve when you do lot of practice. So when I was doing my first video resume, I think I made around 25-30 resumes to get my first resume right, because I wanted to sound very very confident in front of the camera, right? So you got to be friends with camera, and that's the key to get your video resume started. Now let's quickly jump on to the concept and the master template for video resume. So video resume is like your elevator pitch, like your traditional resume. When we spoke about the master template of your traditional resume was your complete sales pitch, wherein you have your elevator pitch and then you have your entire story and stuff like that in the traditional resume. But when it comes to your video resume, it is your elevator pitch. It is those 1 or 2 minutes of your pitch which will decide whether to take forward the discussion or whether not to take forward the discussion. So it has to be really really powerful. Let's see what are the elements involved in video resume. So like your traditional resume, video resume, any which ways video resume in itself is a hook, but it still has to have a hook. Even those 2 minutes have to be segregated in such a manner that your 10 seconds or your 15 seconds are that hook which will make the person see the video for next 2 minutes. It has to have a mini story, not the complete story, a very crisp mini version of your summary of experiences and your accomplishments. And one thing which is very very critical is what is your offer at the end of the video resume. I spoke about this thing even in the traditional resume, but guys, over here in video resume it becomes very very critical. That is why if you look at it, two things I have highlighted in different color. One is hook. Your hook has to be very specific and very powerful, and at the same time your offer, your final closing statement has to be very powerful, so that you move on to the next step, which is having a face-to-face or a telephonic interview scheduled with the person to whom you have sent your video resume. Then since it's a 2.5 minute kind of elevator pitch that you are creating, it has to be very very tightly structured. You have to have a very tight structure to ensure that you don't go beyond that structure. Second thing, your video resume should look very authentic. It should look very real. There can't be situations wherein it is sounding artificial, right? It has to come from your natural state, and then only it will create humongous impact. Third, you have to be very very professional when you are creating your video resume. Second, you have to sound very confident. Last but of utmost importance is you have to have a very strong closing. You can't have a video resume with open statement wherein person is confused whether I should reply back to this guy, whether I should not reply to this guy. So you have to give an offer, you have to give a closing statement which will push the other person to respond back to you. And last and very important thing is there is a time limit to video resume. You can't have a 5 minute resume which people will not even see completely, and you can't even have a 30-second 1 minute kind of resume, because that's too small to talk about your experience and too small to convey the point that you want to convey. Okay, so this is the master template. Let's quickly dive into the elevator template. This template will show you how exactly step by step you have to create your video resume. And obviously in the next few modules, I'll share with you my video resume that has worked for me in past and that has worked for me time and again. Okay, but let's first look and understand the concept of this template so that you can create a very powerful resume, video resume for yourself. Okay, so first thing is, like I shared, you require a hook. Now the key in video resume is that your video resume in itself is of 2 minutes, right? So at times it becomes really difficult to have a 5-10 seconds of very powerful statement as a hook, because your every statement in these 2 minutes have to be extremely powerful. So what I typically use in my hook, and it has always worked for me, and I'm sure if you do it right, it will work for you as well, is I set clear expectations of what I will be speaking in this video, what value I will be delivering in this video. Number one is that. Second is, I also share proactively that this video will take this much time duration. So this video will take 2 minutes of your time, so that the person is ready that it will only gonna take me 2 minutes to go through this video, rather than assuming that I'm not sure how much time it will take and closing your video in between. So these are two critical things that I use in the hook, which is set clear expectations, and second, proactively share the time duration of the video. And it has always worked for me. Second thing is, when it comes to your mini story and your accomplishment, you have to be very cautious about. The first thing is, you have to be very selective. I know that each one of us has a lot of stuff in our experience, have lot of accomplishments, but when it comes to your video resume, you have to be very, very selective of what are the punches that you want to use in your mini story and your accomplishments, because it has to fit in within those 2 minutes of your total video resume, right? So make sure you have right pointers or scripts that you use while creating the video resume to ensure you don't go outside the time limits. Second thing is that your video resume has to create a feeling of wow or a feeling of relevance, so that when I'm going through your resume, it should give me a feeling, wow, this looks interesting. I want to know a little more about this person. Third thing is, your video has to create curiosity. You have created wow, you have told a little bit about yourself, and you have also created curiosity, so that I as a person want to know more about you. Okay, so first is your hook, which is your setting clear expectations, proactively sharing time duration, your mini story and your accomplishment, wherein you have to be very selective. You have to create a feeling of relevance, and at the same time you have to create curiosity in your video resume. Third is, your ending statement has to be very, very powerful. It has to clearly talk about the next steps which you are expecting from this video resume. Don't leave it at the mercy of others. You should clearly say that now I have told you in brief about my overall profile. How about getting on a quick 10 to 15 minutes call to tell you in detail about myself, to better understand this requirement, and to showcase how using my experience and expertise I can add humongous value to this profile. So it could be any statement, but it has to have next steps that you want out of this video resume. Okay, next and very critical thing is, your every video resume has to be supported with a customized message. If you have created your video resume, that is not enough. Depending on whom you are sending it, why you are sending it, there has to be a very, very customized and very strong message that will push people to open your video resume. We will talk more about these messages when we get on to social response formula and reference response formula. But your every video has to be accomplished with a message which gives the context of you sending this resume. Okay, let's quickly move ahead. So these are the three resumes that you need at any given point in time. So your first resume is your generic direct resume. Where you will use it, you have created a generic resume, direct video resume. You will upload it on job portal so that everybody can access it and evaluate you. When you are connecting with some of your people in social network, etc., etc., or when you are making offline connects over the phone with somebody, you can use this generic resume wherein you are connecting with somebody to explore if they have a direct opportunity or not. Second resume that you require is your personalized indirect resume, which is when you are connecting with senior level executives to explore if they have an opportunity or not. You may want to personalize it. So let's say if I am connecting with CEO of some organization, rather than sending my generic resume, I will change the beginning of my resume. I'm not saying change the resume, but make it personalized to that person. Let's say if you are connecting and sending your resume to 20-25 people on daily basis and you can't personalize for each one of them, then your generic resume shall follow with a personalized message, right? Personalized text message that will go along with the resume, that makes it personalized for that person. Third is your customized opportunity specific resume, where all you use it. So let's say there is an opportunity post which has been put in by somebody on LinkedIn, and if you want to reply to that post, right, and it's an opportunity which is really critical for you, make a customized resume. Talk about your traits and your strengths in that resume which are aligned with what in the post the person is looking for as key skills for that job opportunity. Or let's say you got to know about some specific opportunity and you are sending your resume for that specific opportunity, make sure you make your resume customized for that specific opportunity. Or let's say it happens that you have uploaded your resume on job portals, and the job portal people or a consultant will touch base with you that we found your resume relevant for XYZ profile and we want to send it to the client. This shall we send this resume to them? At that time, you know that there are chances for you to scheduling this interview because there is an initial interest in your resume. At that time, tell them that I am sending you a very customized and specific resume in next half an hour. Do send that one to the client, so that when somebody is looking at that resume, they can easily relate that yes, these are the skills we require, and this guy or this girl has these kind of skills. So that kind of improves your chances of scheduling that interview significantly, right? And I repeat again, every resume that you are sending over a message, either on your phone message, WhatsApp, social network, whatever, you have to have very customized strong message highlighting what is the context of the video that you are sharing, why you are sharing this video, right? We will talk about these messages in the social response and reference response formula. um, that's it in this video. I will see you in the next video wherein I will share with you my exact video resume that I have been using for last so many years. See you in the next module. Thank you.